This is a video tutorial for do-it-yourselfers and professionals who are planning to remove the pressed cane seat using a steam method. Traditionally, the spline was removed using a chisel like this or this and a mallet like this. To demonstrate, the chisel would be set on the spline and tapped out in incremental pieces, and it took hours. This is an inexpensive, between $40 and $80 steamer designed to clean grout and around your sink and other places that you want to sanitize. It needs just a little modification. There are tips that go on the end of this. There's one that has not been modified. Here's one that has been drilled out with an 1/8 inch diameter drill, and a piece of copper tubing has been pressed in there and glued with silicone glue. Take an awl and mark about every 3 inches around the seat so that when you make a drill hole, you don't slip and damage your wood. Once we have our holes marked, then we need to drill them out. I'm using a battery-operated screwdriver with a special drill bit that is an 1/8 of an inch diameter. And I will simply drill in. The nice thing about the screwdriver is that you can easily feel when you've hit the bottom. Now that my holes are drilled, I need to cut around the edge of my spline with a little knife. This is important especially on mid-century modern chairs, because the stain and the finish were combined and sprayed on both the unfinished chair and the seat. Turn your chair over and in an inconspicuous spot, test to see if the steam will harm the finish on your chair. If you find that steam is going to be a problem, you can instead take some sort of hypodermic, even a squirt gun, and inject water under your spline. Let it sit for 3 or 4 hours, and that's a safer way of removing a spline if you have a fragile finish. I'm going to begin injecting steam into those holes. You can see that there are gaps actually under that spline, which allows the steam to come out other holes. I'm going to go all the way around the seat. Once or even twice. This is a newer version of a spline removal chisel, and I will probably use it for the majority of this demonstration, but I still use the other chisels as well. Now that I have steamed my spline, I'm going to gently remove the first section. Okay, it's coming out pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and use some more steam. But I can also just It's soft enough now that I'm pulling it out with my fingers. A little more steam. Let's see if the next section will come out. Here I am coming to the home stretch. One of the reasons that steam works well, you don't have any wait time as you do if you just inject water under the spline. And if you're working on a mid-century modern chair, there's a problem sometimes with the glues that were used. They were experimenting with a lot of different types of glues, and some of them were actually waterproof. And most glues dissolve under heat. So it's the steam, the temperature of the steam, that will aid in the removal of the spline rather than the water. All done, and it took less than 5 minutes. I'm going to steam around the groove again. Cut the seat into several pieces. No matter how careful you are, sometimes you get chips. Don't let them escape you. Use a little bit of glue and a little bit of tape. It's better if you use a water-resistant glue for a repair like this, for obvious reasons. You're going to work some glue under that chip, or if it's completely off, then of course you're going to get it back on there. This repair doesn't take very long. Just a little bit of masking tape will hold it in position. And in an hour or two, you can take that off and it will be good as new. One piece left. And out she comes. Sometimes a chair is almost ready to redo at this point. This is a fairly modern glue, and one of the reasons steam is so great is because if you come across a chair that has a modern glue, it may need the heat more than the water to break the glue joint. And I tend to use both chisels in a scraping movement to remove the excess glue and the leftover pieces of cane. Now that will take me a little bit longer on this chair than some others, but that is how you remove splines in pressed cane seats with steam.